For my Deadbug progressions, now this series is a series from 0 to 5, focusing on increasing demands on the core. So we're really working on pushing the low back and the ribs, really connecting that entire core there into the floor, and we're going to use that for a little bit of feedback as I progress. Now you want to start with 0, right? Everybody starts there, myself included. It really makes sure that we hone in, we feel the core first. As you progress through the different moving of the arm and the leg, perhaps the arm and the leg together, it will become more challenging, but if we don't have a solid base of that Deadbug 0, we're likely to compensate through all of the other progressions. So like everything else we've talked about, don't be afraid to spend some time here. Own the Deadbug 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before moving up the ladder. Now for my Deadbug 0, I'm going to come into that hook line position, laying flat on the ground. Now my ribs and my hips are separate, right? We need to connect them both. So I'm going to tuck my tail underneath. Notice my hips tuck under, but I'm also going to bring my ribs down. A lot of times we can find that flat back on the floor, but those ribs are just hanging out up here. We want to push everything down and together. Hands lay flat, palms up, and we're simply going to take those breaths nice and slow and controlled. As I exhale, reinforcing the ribs to the hips and pushing that spine into the ground. Inhale, exhale, everything comes down. If we want to use those hands as feedback, we're more than welcome to. Now as we progress into that Deadbug 1, position stays the same, right? Hips underneath, ribs down. From here, we're gonna now start to march. So as I inhale, I'll bring it up. Exhale, keep that spine in the ground and come back down. We're alternating sides. Inhale, march. Exhale, lower down. Again, as we exhale, this is all about the connection here in the core. We don't want the low back to go off the floor with it. We're keeping it down. As we progress, Deadbug 2, we're coming up, over. Again, you can kind of see I lost my hips there as I drop my feet. Bring those down together. Then one, nice and slow at a time, down and back in, down and back in. Now number 3, we're moving on. My hands come up towards the sky. I get that good reach. I'm gonna long through my heel and then come back. Now as I extend my leg, that's gonna increase the demands here. It's gonna wanna pull the low back again. Make sure we're set. If you notice the low back going as you progress, that's where you wanna move back into one of those previous versions. So again, Deadbug 3, I'm long through the heel. As I go Deadbug 4, those arms get involved. I'm going opposite arm and leg, reaching long and down. Now that arm moving overhead, you're gonna wanna drop the ribs. We're keeping those down and back, okay? And finally, Deadbug 5, same arm, same leg, will extend out and then coming back. So again, working our way through that Deadbug progression slowly and intelligently. We're not rushing through it. Own the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 before moving on for your Deadbug progression.